Hello and welcome to OT Reacts, and here we are for episode 25 of Attack on Titan. And last time we just finished off an episode where our whole crew was getting together and we finally have this god squad here. We got this god squad here, and I don't know, it feels like we can do anything. It feels like this group can really do anything. They have everything. They got the planners, the high IQ people, they got the fighters, we got the titans, we got everything. We got everything on our squad, and they're going out here to like Connie said, they're gonna go out to save the world here, obviously trying to stop Eren in some way, somehow. Whether or not they're gonna be successful doing this, who the fuck knows. As good of a squad this is, Eren is still, this being, this powerful entity right now that really just feels unstoppable, and they're more in the mortal realm right now. So we'll see if they're gonna be able to convince Eren to end this, or in some other way be able to stop this from happening. Also, I wanted to bring this up more because I didn't really mention it in the last episode. Who the fuck is this guy? He showed up in the last episode and I didn't really mention it that much. I only said like, oh, I'm pretty sure that's the bystander, Shadis, that's his name, the training corps training guy or whatever, that had his own episode. I'm pretty sure that's him. But is there the little off chance that it could be someone else? I didn't really discuss that much. It was kind of a weird, scene, and I said it in during the reaction. I put some text up this is kind of suspicious. Like a suspicious scene with Annie looking back, and only Annie realizing hey, someone's watching us. And also the weird thing was that it was they blurred the face, or they didn't blur it, they completely blacked out the face so you couldn't tell who it was. And it's would you really do that to Shadis? Would you really try and hide his face? What's the point of hiding his face? Are you trying to get the point across that he's he's the bystander, he's not he always said it himself that he wasn't this special person that could do special things. And I thought the whole point was him watching them go away to save the world right now, while he stays back and he has to be a bystander again. He has to let these special people do their special things, and he's still not that special person. So if that's the point you're trying to get across, why would you black his face out? So unless it's some other thing that later on that something that to reveal of how he's important to the story, or how that moment was important, or if there's going to be some other bystander compilation or something later on of his perspective. I know he was trying to tell his cadets hey, be prepared, we need to fight back against these Jaegers assholes eventually. So maybe there's that whole plot line that they're about to do or whatever, on the inside, or with the Jaegers, they're gonna deal with them. My other thing was if it's not him, then who could it be? You gotta start thinking Annie's the person that saw them. So automatically I start thinking who are the people that are most connected to Annie? So it's Reiner, Bertolt, Marco, Hitch, Eren, and Armin. And obviously I'm talking about the whole show because obviously Marco's dead. So obviously it's not Marco, unless it's some weird thing where Annie was living back some regret, or whatever. But I feel they would have shown his face if that was him, especially because when you look back in the thing, he has the training, it looked like he had the training seal on his back when they panned to his back, but the face was still blacked out. So obviously Marco was a training cadet, but I doubt it's him. I doubt it's Reiner or Bertolt. And the only people that really leaves is Eren and Armin. And the only way they would be looking back at Annie was if it was some type of founding titan fuckery or whatever, founding titan paths time fuckery that let them look at Annie from the future / past or whatever. Because we saw with our guys Eren and Zeke, they would have moments when they were in the past, where Zeke was taking Eren around in the past and looking through memories and stuff like that, and they were standing around looking at them, and there's a moment where Grisha kind of saw them. So I wonder if that's a moment there where someone in the past, founding titan stuff, is looking at Annie, and Annie notices them as looking back at them, because that's what it kind of reminded me of, especially the bit that you can't see their face. That's just the really thing that tips me off the most. It's are they hiding the face because it's going to be something where they go through the past time thing again, and they're looking at Annie leave? So that's the only thing. Or it could just be Shadis or whatever. It could just be him, and they're hiding him because they want to have this moment later in the show where he has like some monologue about being the bystander again, or something about him, you know, helping fight against the Jaegers, which could that it could just be that. But I just wanted to bring it up because I didn't bring it up last time, or I just didn't even think much of it until I started to edit the video. I was like, or this scene is just way more suspicious the second time I'm watching this. Like, I need to mention this, so I brought it up. With all that said, though, that's all that's all I had to say about that. So let's just get into the episode. Oh god, I'm nervous. John, you know, I don't exactly like this right now. I don't like the random John backstory. This is scaring me. Sorry, we're getting the background of how, yeah, he wanted to he wanted to return to his original dream or whatever, but or what he thought was his dream. So we're getting the background of how he came about teaming up with everyone here, or at least this little bit of it. Man, that's devastating. Holy shit. But yeah, he won't be in the action anytime soon. So I don't know, like, what's gonna be Levi's role here then? Like, is he gonna do what we've thought he's gonna do, or at least what I've thought he's gonna do for a while now? Is that he's gonna take a Titan power? I mean, yeah, of course, you know, she doesn't agree with what Eren wants to do, obviously. We need as many motherfuckers as possible, man. Yeah, she's down. Yeah, because we're still gonna have to do something afterwards. There's still gonna be the people around the world. Yeah, and your walls are gone now too, by the way. Like, unless we're able to like reverse and rebuild the walls, but I don't know. Yeah, but that's not good enough though for the time being. Like you're just relying that hopefully in that time we'll just figure something out. Like, we'll just figure something out and everything will be fine. Like, there's no guarantee with that. And of course, genocide's fucked up. Like, why? I don't even have to say that, but you know, this is the classic Attack on Titan thing. Everything's fucked up. Every choice, everything just leads to pain. It's all just pain. Yep. You have to give the people that died their worth. Like, yeah, like. Oh, Erwin, Petra, and all of them. Mike. It's like Eren said, we give value to the lives of the lost. We continue their fight. Yeah, Marco. That was his motivation. Let's go. I'm a little scared for John though. I don't like that this whole open was with him, like, as the main character. It's kind of scary. I'm scared for him. He's been around so long. I don't know. Potatoes. That just makes me think of Sasha. Yeah, damn. No one helping her? Just standing around. No one wants to sit down or anything. You already know this. Yep. We're all not a part of this whole Eren thing. Yeah. This dude just be talking, bro. They literally didn't know anything else. He even said it himself that they're all devils. Everyone's devils. And from his perspective, they're devils, but from their perspective, they're devils. So Yeah, it's so long back and forth. This is the most useless conversation you could possibly have. This conversation doesn't, you know, it's not worth having. They know. Gabby and Falco know. Loki John, I wouldn't mind if you gave him a good punch. I don't care. Exactly. Thank you. Jeez. 元帥殿は私たちの存在に困惑しておられるのだよ。この島を根絶やしにしようとした世界の人々を楽園を捨ててまで助けようとする奇怪な悪魔の。Kohanji is get on his ass. Thank you, Jesus. Sorry if that was loud. もう何も知らない島の悪魔には戻れない。And he's just chilling. Not really. Probably not. And of course it goes to Mikasa because, you know, imagine telling Mikasa like, hey, we're gonna kill Eren. But she seems pretty determined. Talk him out of it, yeah, I don't know. It is them. It's, you know, his friends. If there's anyone that could change his mind, then it's them, but I don't know. I mean, they really can't though. Like that's their guy. They'll end up a fight again. Yeah. But like, what is there to do to fight against him? Like. Right now? Like, come on. Come on, dog. We all know you're bluffing. All of you. Both of you. She wants to go back to her dad. Ooh, this music's so good right now. It can't have any infighting. It just won't lead to any type of progress. Some like Last Supper type shit, bro. Cause holy shit, I feel like the episode just started, but I don't know. Like this, some crazy shit has to happen this episode, I imagine, which is why I'm nervous. Yelena's so interesting. Like, what's gonna be her role from now on, and what's gonna be her end? Yeah, and she has plenty of disdain for them. She probably honestly cares more about Zeke at this point. She's from Marley too? Or at least partially? It's so weird how she just stays like that. Damn, so we're getting on everyone's asses here in the circle? Save the world. I guess she doesn't really care about that. This music right now, jeez, it's kind of, it's killer. They did plenty of bad things too. What, Yelena, you're like this perfect person too? Or something? Like no shit, like they all did bad shit. I think all of them know this. But that doesn't mean you can't turn around and try and do good things too. It's like, do you have to stay in character the whole time? She just feels like such a pessimist at this point. She's just hating. That's all I gotta say. Give me something to say to Falco. Say something to Falco, I dare. What are you gonna say?
本当にいい子でしたから。美味しいです、ハンチさん。おかわりありますか？ああ、まだまだあるよ。ありがとう。
Yeah, like who the fuck cares what you're saying right now? Did she think she was doing something by saying all that? I don't get the point. Like she's kind of trying to get across here. Like they all know this already. As if they don't like think about this all the time.
以前教えてもらったあなたの親友の名前はそうだ、マルコだ。もう兄から聞いたんですか？マルコの死の真相。
She's an instigator, bro. She's literally just sitting here trying to instigate.
私がマルコから立体起動装置を取り上げた。だからマルコは巨人に加え。兄は俺の命令に従っただけだ。
She was just following my orders, and then I was just following orders from the homeland, and then the homeland wants to do that because the fucking Eldians killed a bunch of the people. Like, it's a fucking long, it's a slippery slope. Like, why are... This is frustrating. That was traumatizing for Reiner. There's so many, they're panning to so many shots here. It's crazy. I guess you have to occupy, you know, space by showing different shots, making the scenes interesting. Yep. No better place to talk than around the campfire. Trying to build a understanding. Not really. Not really.
マルコが巨人に食われるのを見ながら、俺はなんでマルコが巨人に食われているんだと思った。そして怒りに身を任せて。
Yeah, they don't really know that much about Reiner's whole different personalities. Yeah, Reiner's he's gone through so much. Damn, that face. Damn, I thought we just had this conversation, man. We're trying to understand each other here. We don't need to go to actions, but I understand his frustration. Marco is his guy. And Reiner, of course, you know, he has no intention of protecting himself. He could have, I mean, he almost basically, he wants to kill himself, basically. Or he wanted to at some points. He could transform if he wanted to right now. And yeah, poor Gabby and all the Eldians and Marley. They've just been brainwashed. I don't know how you could watch this show and hate Gabby. Like, she's a fucking kid. I always see people like freaking out like Gabby's the worst character ever made. She's the fucking, she's calling like the little girl a bitch, and like I just can't get behind this. Like, how do you watch this and like think that, or watch any of it at all, even from the very beginning? Like, come on. That was a good scene. I like that. And now Mr. General here is starting to understand a little bit too. Oh, damn, what a good scene. That was so good. I love that. And then John trying to block out the noise. He wants to go back to a quieter time. That was so good. So much John. Oh no. This is freaking me out. John's such a good guy. I just can't see him leave the show. I'd be upset. Fair.
私を
Damn, no one talking to you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
港がイエーガー派に占拠されています。
I mean, we can defeat them pretty easily if we wanted to.
対巨人用装備の兵士たちが
Some oh, okay, maybe it would be a bit harder than I thought. Especially with Levi out of commission, it's gonna have to be a big Mikasa carry. And this motherfucker Flock, Mr. Wildcard himself. I don't like that they're building up scary music around Flock. Alright, so that's episode 25 in the books. And to start with this episode, they started off with the whole John thing. It was a big John episode. That's one of the important things to know about this episode. It's a big John episode. And it's, you know, I said in the reaction right when it started, I'm like, I don't like that we're having this John backstory and John everything. We have John conversation, we had John beating up Reiner, and then John's blah 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 blah, everything. I'm like, it's scary because, you know, this is like the common anime thing, or even just general, like any type of show or manga or story book, whatever. It's when it's like one of the quintessential rules of watching stuff like this is like, if someone's getting backstory, that probably means they're gonna die soon. Or, you know, I thought for a second that maybe it would be this episode that it would happen, but obviously nothing, you know, big happened. It was just a lot of dialogue and all that type of stuff. But this kind of worries me because next episode it seems like things are, you know, gonna start happening, and we're gonna have this whole confrontation with all the freaking Eldian soldiers, and we're gonna somehow invade the port because we need to use that to save the Azumabito, right? That's their name. That family, that clan, or that group, or whatever, so that we can use their stuff to get to Eren or whatever, right? That's what they brought up. I'm pretty sure that's how they. I'm pretty sure that's their plan or whatever, right? That's how they're gonna go about things. So. Next episode is when we expect the things to happen, and that's kind of, you know, with confrontation and fighting and all this, like, I'm just scared for John's life here. I mean, I don't know, he's been around for so long, and honestly, John's one of my favorite characters. I think he's one of the best characters in the show. He's probably the best, like, side character, if you want to say, because if you want to talk about like Eren, Armin, and Mikasa and all them, they're like main characters. I would even say like a guy Erwin, when he was in the show, was like basically like a main character. You know, if you want to count him as a side character, you can. But he's like one of the best characters in my opinion. And it's just, I don't want to see him go. I don't want to see him die, because that's gonna be sad. I got sad this episode just watching everything, like Gabby and Falco, like Gabby on her knees, like saying sorry. It's like, I don't know. I just can't. If John's gonna die, or if anyone else is gonna die. I mean, especially John, because like I said, he's one of my favorites. But we'll see. Maybe it's like a big, you know, a misdirection type of thing. It's like, oh, we're gonna give you this whole John-centric episode or whatever. But it's not that, because he's gonna die. It's just, we just want to talk about John a little bit. We want to talk about his feelings and, you know, why, and some of the, you know, interesting dialogue that we could have with him and Reiner and Gabby and, you know, this general guy. I don't know. It's just scary. All right, but oh yeah, and I also want to say, like, Flock. I was about to call him Falco. Flock is scaring me because he's in this position like he's the freaking boss of some like Mario video game you're gonna see at the end of the level or whatever. It's like he's sitting there with the lady. He has his gun. And they have some really, really scary, intense music play when he's on screen at the very end of the story. Or at the very end of the episode, I should say. And that's kind of like a thing, like, oh, to be continued. And it's like, the last shot you show is him with the scary music. And it just makes me think he's going to do something. Yeah, he has a gun. I always say he's, you know, Mr. Wildcard or whatever, because he has, you know, he has an important role in the story, obviously. or like I expect him to have an even more important role than what he has right now, or I expect him to do more things than what he's doing. Is what I'm trying to say actually. Like there's gonna be some special moment with him, and we're gonna eventually see some type of end to his story because he's been around for a decent amount and he showed a decent amount. Like every character with that amount of screen time is gonna have some type of ending, and I'm scared because Flock is such a wild card, and they have this scary moment with him at the episode. I just feel like he's gonna do something, and then when you relate that to the whole John thing, it's like, is Flock gonna freaking kill John or something like that? It's a John-centric episode. It starts with John, ends with Flock. He's the guy with scary guy with the gun, or whatever. They have this intense music. I say he's a wild card. Could he kill John? I'm scared about that. That's like a prospect that I just can't, I don't know. I just don't want it to happen. It's just, I'm scared it's gonna come to some confrontation. And then also, if you want to tie Flock and John together again, you go back to Flock, he's like, giving these speeches to all the Eldian people, and it's John who's like his, behind his back the whole time, and they have that kind of connection, and Flock is coming here like he's the guy that brought into his head, like, John, like, we're finally free, like we finally fought for our freedom, we're here. And then I don't know, I'm just scared that's the issue here. I'm just hoping that that's just not what happens, so hopefully Flock doesn't kill John, and hopefully he doesn't kill anyone else, because I don't know, I'm just trying to think what would even be a proper end for Flock. And it's like he's been this like kind of guy who's kind of filled in this power vacuum. He kind of feels like he's that guy, like, I don't know, it's just, what kind of end do you have to that person? Like, do you have them have a realization, like, I don't know. I'm just not sure. I have to think about it more. I can't think about it right now. There's too many things going on in my head. Maybe I'll have something to say about it in the intro, of next episode. But that's about it. So let's get into the rest of the episode. Besides the whole John Flock craziness, they have Hanji is set on not wanting a genocide, obviously, because she knows, genocide's fucking wrong. I said in this reaction that you don't have to say much past that. Like, that's all you gotta say. Who doesn't know genocide's terrible? So she's hell-bent on that, even though it could eventually, her not having the genocide happen could eventually lead to her life being lost and all her people's life being lost. But it's like she can't break her principles on that. It's like, what is that really a better outcome than us not doing it? It's just a whole messy thing, and she just doesn't want to be a part of it. It's like, we just can't do this. We can't do this. Eventually John and Mikasa agrees. Mikasa, I don't know, she just doesn't want Eren to kill people is the main thing. She doesn't want Eren to suffer or to continue on this path of destruction. She wants him to return to the Eren that she knew, which was this person that saved people, I guess you want to say, because he saved her. Instead, he's here, killing people. And obviously, even back then, Eren was killing people to save people. So it's kind of like a weird thing where he's kind of repeating the same thing, but she doesn't want him to do it anymore because she's kind of realizing, looking back, that, oh yeah, like he saved me, but he also killed people by saving me. So, or killed people to save me, anyways. So it's this whole messy thing, and she just wants to do that. And now we're all grouped up together, and we're having this campfire discussion, which I thought was fun. I said in the reaction, there wasn't really visually much going on, so there's a bunch of like panning of different shots and flashing different shots in people's faces. And it's like just to keep up the visual interest, which I thought was cool. And I don't know, they're just letting everything off their chest. It's like a classic, campfire moment. A lot of shows have that type of thing, where everyone just sits down and just talks for a little bit. Like I always think of Avatar, The Last Airbender, when it's like book 3, I think it's book 3, when Zuko, I guess minus spoilers for Avatar, The Last Airbender. If you haven't watched it, I don't know why you haven't watched it if you haven't, but Zuko is like by the campfire with his sister and the other two characters, I forget their names, but they're having this whole thing where they're letting everything off their chest. And this is a similar situation, I feel like where everyone's finally having this moment where they can discuss instead of just fighting. That, you know, that's what they all brought up. And it feels like, you know, that's one of the things that this show is trying to, you know, bring up is like, hey, there needs to be more discussion. You know, if discussion and understanding and empathy is really what prevents, you know, these dangerous things from happening. You know, ultimately empathy, understanding, all that type of stuff, even though it's kind of like the same thing, but it's like that is the biggest thing holding us from understanding our fellow person and preventing, you know, all this type of shit that can happen like we see in this world where there is no discussion. And now we see all these people warring. We see all these people dying and being turned into titans. And now we have this situation where we have this person who is pushed into wanting to, you know, make this genocide thing happen, Eren. So it's just, it's an interesting, you know, thought to have. And it's an interesting thought that this show is trying to, you know, put in your head. And that scene I brought up a little bit ago in the discussion here with Gabby, you know, she gets kicked while she's trying to save Reiner from his punches, and she's just telling John about how sorry she is about the whole thing, and that, you know, she was explaining her situation and all the people in Liberia and all the Eldians and Marley, like the situation they're in, and there's, you know, the general listening to is like, you know, like finally listen to what they have to say, like, oh yeah, holy shit. Like he kind of has that look on his face. But and then John, of course, he immediately regrets kicking her on accident, of course, but he regrets it, and he finally comes to more of an understanding of the type of situation that they're in. So that scene was pretty emotional. I really like that scene. I said that's one of the best scenes in that episode. It's just so emotional. That was a good scene. And Yelena, I brought up, like, what is her use in the rest of the story? What is she gonna do? You know, she seemed like she wanted to incite some type of, you know, I said she's trying to like instigate, like she's trying to instigate here. And it's like, I don't know. And even John and Hanji were like, you know, whatever, dude. Like, like we all know this. What are you trying to do? You're just trying to get us mad and trying to get us to fight each other or whatever. Like, do whatever you want to do. And then she brought up Marco, and then that's when this whole scene about Reiner and John happened. And I don't know. Yelena's just so weird. She's one of the weirdest characters in the show, ever since she's been introduced. And you know, it was interesting to see that she's actually a Marley person instead of, you know, some other person from a different land, and that I gotta rewatch that scene with Peak explaining to Yelena about her being from Marley, because I feel like I missed something there. But I don't know, it was interesting to see, and that she's trying to build this world where, according to Peak, she's trying to build this world where she's, you know, has her Prince Charming and Zeke, and, you know, they get to save the world or whatever. But yeah, we'll see what her end is. Is it gonna be Zeke related? Is she gonna, you know, is she in play to kill someone? Because I'm always thinking about that with Attack on Titan. Like, when is someone gonna die? Who's next to die? Like, how are people gonna die? And like, Yelena is one of those characters that definitely could just kill one of our guys. Like, similar to Flock. Like Flock, I'm almost sure like Flock's gonna do some stupid shit like that. I don't know if he's gonna actually kill someone, but he's gonna at least attempt to. It just feels like he's always, I don't know. The only characters that Flock is really attached to, like connected in, he's been the most connected to, Armin and John. Those are the two characters that he's been in most contact with the people in our crew, right? So if he were to kill someone, it would be one of those two. That's just, you know, facts. But I don't know. It would be weird if he killed Armin just because he's a Titan. You know, like, I feel like he would be able to figure something out. And also, like, his Titan power would just go away. Like, it would just vanish, basically. Like, the next some unborn Eldian child would, you know, inherit it or whatever. Or yet to be born, I should say. I don't know. That'd be weird. I'm just scared for my guy John. And with the other stuff in this episode, I guess not much else besides the discussion, Yelena, Reiner, John. I think I touched on most of that. Yeah, now we're getting ready to invade this port here, and, you know, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I think there's this whole thing has been so much build up. I think I've said this like every reaction. There's been build up, and whenever you have this much build up, I expect that there's gonna be a big confrontation and situation here. So I'm just scared for next episode, because even next episode, even if stuff happens, it's still even more build up to the whole Eren confrontation, which who knows if that's even next episode. Maybe that's in 2 episodes, 3, I don't know, but we'll see. I'm just excited for this show. That was a really good episode, actually. I say this every time with the build-up stuff. Like, even though I mention it, it's like, even though its build-up is really good, it's really fun, it's really entertaining, and you know, obviously, I'm very into this show, and I am into the world here. So, so we'll see with next episode what next episode brings. I'm excited. So I guess I'll just see y'all next time.